All right, hello 8th grade students. This is Mr. Alford recording a help video for assignment 5. Is it assignment 5? Yes, it is assignment 5. Just had to check for myself. So assignment 5, every question is giving you 2 points. Okay, it's saying a line passes through those 2 points. Zoom in a little bit. A line passes through these 2 points. And you have to find the equation of that line in slope-intercept form. And any fraction, this is basically saying any fractions you have, you need to put those fractions in simplest form. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this first problem. So I've got some helpful formulas here that you're going to need. Slope formula, which we did in yesterday's assignment, and the slope-intercept form of a line, y equals mx plus b. Here's the same problem that I have copied here. So let me clarify a few things. So when we are doing these problems, we just need to find a number for m, and we need to find a number for b. That's our whole goal when we are trying to find the equation of a line, because we know already that if we have m, or let me say this, if we have b, that tells us our y-intercept, like the first point that we put on a graph, and then we would have used m to tell us how the line moves, like how far we go up and to the right, or how far we go down and to the left. These two numbers are all that we need to make a straight line. So we just need to find a number for m. For this problem and for every other problem in this assignment, you find a number for m and you find a number for b. That's your goals. That's what you should focus on. So step 1, we always find m. So I'm going to copy my slope formula up here, put it down here. I'm also going to copy my 2 points that I was given that the problem gave me. So 2, 9 and 1, 6. X1 is my first x value. Y1 is my first y value. This one right here is my second x value, so x2. 6 here is my second y value, so y2. So we said y2 is 6. We said y1 is 9. We said x2 is 1. And we said x1 is 2. I just got an email. Anyway, 6 minus 9. 6 minus 9 is negative 3. You could do that in your calculator if you want. Oh, come on. And you would get negative 3. 1 minus 2 is negative 1. Okay. Let's simplify this fraction. Negative 3 divided by negative 1. A negative divided by a negative is a positive. So, negative 3 divided by negative 1 is, well, 3 divided by 1 is 3, so 3. Okay, so we found m. That's good. That's the first result that we really needed, right? We found m. Now we need to find b. So here's how we're going to do that. I'm going to do this. Y equals mx plus b. And we said that m is 3. So I'm going to replace this m with 3. Cool. I need to find b. Well, here's how I find b. If I replace x and y with numbers, then I can basically solve this equation for b. So I need to replace x and I need to replace y with a number. Alright, I can use 2 and 9 for my x value and y value, or I can use 1 and 6 for my x value and y value. What I need to do here is just take an x value and y value that are paired together. So it doesn't matter if I do 2, 9 or if I do 1, 6. I would get the same result. So just because I'm just going to use 1, 6. I'm just going to use 1, 6. Let's just do that. So 6 is going to be my y value. Replace y with 6. x, 1 is going to be right here. 1 is going to be my y value. So instead of times x, it's times 1. Okay, 6 equals 3 times 1 plus b. Now you've got an equation with one variable. I am totally confident that you guys know how to solve these kinds of equations, but let's just go ahead and do it anyway. So the right side can definitely simplify. 3 times 1 is 3. So 3 times 1 is 3. Bring down plus b. Bring down the equal sign. Bring down the 6. Cool. Okay, 6 equals 3 plus b. So I need to, okay, I need to subtract, this is positive 3, I need to undo positive 3 on this side because I just want the variables on one side. Let me back up and just say this one more time. I need the variables on one side and the numbers on the other. So I've got b on this side, I want to get this 3 off of the right side of the equation. That means I need to undo positive 3. So I need to do minus 3. And if I do it on the right side of the equation, I do it on the left side of the equation. So subtract 3 on both sides. So 6 minus 3 is 3. Bring down the equal sign. 3 minus 3 is 0. I'm not going to bother to write that. Bring down b. So 6 minus 3 is 3. 3 minus 3 is 0. Don't bother writing that. Bring down b. So I've got b equals 3. That was the second important result that I wanted. So I've got the two things that I really need. Again, my whole goal is to fill in this formula. And I can do that now. I can replace m with 3. And I can replace b with 3 too, with 3 as well. Okay, so this is my formula, y equals 3x plus 3. Let's see if IXL agrees. So y equals 3x plus 3, submit. Yes, got it, cool. All right, I'm going to skip to a slightly harder problem. Yep, this is a harder problem because it's got some negatives in it. So let me copy this problem and put it on my scratch paper. Okay. So it's the same process as before. I need to fill in this equation, replace m with a number, and replace b with a number. So that's what I am going to do. To replace m, I use my slope formula, just like we did in yesterday's. We used the slope formula just like in yesterday's assignment. And just like in yesterday's assignment, we need to label our x's and our y's. This is a -5. Can I make that any bigger? Okay. This is -5. This is -1. This is -6. And this is 0. That's what the problem gave me. Okay. So -5 is my first value. That's x1. -1 is my second. That is my first, y value. So that's y1. -6 is my second x value, so that's x2. 0 is my second y value, so that's y2. So y2 is 0. y1 is -1. There, so 0 minus -1. x2 is -6. x1 is -5. Let me back up for just a second and explain something. So we know that the slope formula is always x2 minus x1. So, and the top of that fraction is y2 minus y1. You always want to keep, let me highlight this, keep these minus signs right here, okay? Doesn't matter if your y2 or your y1 or your x2 or your x1 is negative. You always keep those subtraction signs. So here's that subtraction sign on the top, and here's that subtraction sign on the bottom. I'm not getting rid of them. I never get rid of them. Oops. So there. Again, x1 is -5. So -5. There. 0 minus -1. You can do that in your calculator. I know that that is 0 plus 1. 0 plus 1 is 1. So the top of the fraction is 1. -6 minus -5. You could do that in your calculator if you want. I know that's the same thing as -6 plus 5. -6 plus 5 is -1. 1 divided by -1. Opposite sign. Okay, 1 divided by 1 is 1. My two signs here are opposite. This is positive, this is negative. So 1 divided by -1 divided by -1 is going to be -1. There. So I have my I've got m right here. That's my first important result. I've got a number for m. Now I need to go find a number for b. So we said m is -1. Okay, so to find a number for b, we need to replace x and replace y with a number. Because when we do that, then we have an equation where we can solve for b. So I need to pick an x value and y value pair. Here's x1 and y1. Here's x2 and y2. It doesn't matter which pair I pick. I'm just going to pick the first one. So -5 and -1. -5 is going to be my x value. So this is -1 times, replace x with -5. -1 times -5. y1 is -1. So that's y equals, or instead of y equals, it's -1 equals. So I've got -1 equals -1 times -5 plus b. Okay. Right off the bat, I can see I've got -1 times -5. Oh, well, I know what that is. That is, so -1 on the, hold on. Let me do this. -1 times -5 is just negative by a negative is a negative times a negative is a positive. So -1 times -5 is 5. Okay. Just okay. Bring down plus b. Bring down the equal sign. Bring down -1. There. Okay. It's an equation, so I want to get the variable to be on one side and the numbers to be on the other. So I don't want 5 and b to be on the same side. I need to get rid of 5. So I need to undo +5. That means I need to subtract 5 on both sides of the equation. So let's do that. Let's see. So subtract 5 on both sides of the equation. Subtract 5 from that side. Subtract 5 from that side. There. So when I do that, I should get, let's see, -1 minus 5. You can put that in your calculator if you want. It's -6. Equals 5 minus 5 is 0, so I'm not going to bother writing that. And then I bring down b. There. I found the other important result I found that b is -6. Cool. So hopefully you notice right there that I got the two important results I need. I need the number for m, which I found was -1. I need a number for b, which I found was -6. So in my slope-intercept formula, y equals mx plus b, I can replace m with -1. I can replace b with -6. I've got, man, b equals -6. So I've got y equals -1x plus -6. All right, cool. Um,